Observe the features of the eyeball, the front being the cornea and the back of the eye where the optic nerve is. You'll need to cut off the excess fat so that you can look at the eye closer. Weighing the eyeball. This eyeball weighs 27 grams. Measuring the circumference of the eyeball. This particular eyeball is measured at 11.5 centimeters. Using the scalpel, you'll need to make an incision along the sclera so that you can then cut the sclera in half. Be careful not to stab too deep or you may damage the lens. The scalpels can be blunt, so remember to slice away from you. Once you've made the incision, carefully cut around the outside. This may take some time. Carefully remove the top half, the cornea. This lens has been burst. Here we've got the iris as well as the pupil. The vitreous humour is the clear jelly, and behind it you can see a greeny coloured skin. This is the tapetum. It's what makes cat's eyes glow in the dark. Here we have an intact lens. In the right hand is the cornea and iris. The black fluid is the aqueous humour. The clear fluid here is the vitreous humour. It's more of a jelly-like substance. As you can see, it just slides around in the hand and the lens is sticking to it. At the back we've got the optic nerve, and if we flip the eyeball inside out we can see the tapetum. The lens is the cloudy ball on the top. One thing you'll need to research is where the retina is found. The next thing you'll need to do is remove the lens from the vitreous humour. This can be done by sliding it off with a gentle force. Unfortunately, this lens has burst. If you've managed to get an intact lens, pick it up and see if you can read some newspaper, or try and look at your friend. You'll notice that the image is upside down but slightly magnified. Here we have the iris. The hole in the middle is the pupil. You can see from both sides. The line in the middle is where a scalpel has gone through the cornea. Using the forceps and the scalpel, gently try and remove the iris from the cornea using a scraping motion. Here you can see just how delicate the iris actually is. It's quite thin. When it's washed, you can see a lot clearer the small fibres that contract and expand. If you look really closely, you'll also notice there is colour on these areas, a slight red and blue. We have the cornea. It's been washed. When stretched out, there are no wrinkles. This is usually what the aqueous humour's job is. It's quite thick. Listen carefully. The crunching is the layers of the cornea. And it takes quite a lot of force to cut through it. You can see here, even with those 3 cuts, they didn't make it all the way through the cornea. This just goes to show how tough a bull's eye actually is. Right now we're looking at the optic nerve from the inside. And if we flip it over, the optic nerve is on the outside. If you look closely, you can see the hole where the optic nerves come through from that back area. You may need to trim around some extra fat. If you squeeze the nerve bundle, you may be able to see some of the fibres as they get squeezed out. These fibres are a fatty-like substance, just gooey. So here we have a nice clean tapetum, and if we peel it away from the back of the eye, we're left with what the eye would look like if it was a human eyeball. If we put the vitreous humour back into the eye, this is what our eye would look like from a human. And with the tapetum and the vitreous humour, you can see it gives that glow. Cleaning up is simple. You place your tools into the tub provided, then wrap everything eyebally and gooey into the newspaper, including your gloves. Don't put them in the bin. Wrap it up neatly, pop it in a garbage bag, then clean your bench.